Hey guys, how's it going? I am not mentally prepared to record this video right now because it is going to be a very long recording. But whatever, we move on as people. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you are not new here and you haven't done that already, please do so. And also click the bell so that you can be notified every single time that I post. I try to be here every single Friday, but life exists, and sometimes I either give you a bonus video or I just don't give you a video at all. Yeah. So today I want to talk about something from my childhood. I had one which seems a little funky because I barely remember anything that occurred during that time.
Oh shit, I'm not really feeling like I want to get lit. Tell us how you're feeling. I'm feeling.
You could ask me, I probably couldn't tell you. But we're going to be talking about something that I specifically remember from my childhood, which is Littlest Pet Shop, or LPS LPS, for short. So let me backtrack a little bit, right? LPS were created in the 1990s. There have been, I think, like 4 iterations of them. However, the most popular one is the early 2000s iteration, which is the one that I grew up in. I and a lot of people who make LPS content on YouTube, aka LPS Tube, are most familiar with and are the ones that we like the most. Hey guys, so editing Jess here, and I just wanted to show you all how much the older iteration mattered to us, like the one you most commonly see and the one you will see throughout this video and in LPS popular. We cared so much for this. All the LPS tubers were enraged. They were like, we cannot have this in our grounds, in our territory. And because I cared so much about this non-cause, I dialed on my home phone. The like LPS, like 1-800 number. And I talked to this really sweet lady, and I was like, could you bring the old LPS back? Mind you, I was literally in elementary school. I don't know who's gonna listen to me. And she was like, I don't even remember. All I remember was that I called them, and then I had to pee after that because I was so nervous. They never brought it back, though. I don't think they brought it back because of my request, which kind of makes me upset. But I just wanted to share that tiny little, like, snippet of my childhood so that you can understand how much we love the older iteration that you'll see throughout. What was I doing? I received my first LPS when I was, like, 4. And here she is. I had actually lost the original one, so my mom bought me another one, and here she is. Her name is Princess. I hope you like her. Oh wow, I just noticed that the paint from her nose is like scratched off. I tried to give her winged eyeliner. If this doesn't tell you that since childhood I've been bi, I don't know what does. We have my initials on the back as well. None of this information was important. But anyways, so I've grown up with LPS since I was a child. And also grown up with YouTube since I was a child. Because I learned about YouTube from a family friend of mine who wanted to watch Rihanna's new music video for Only Girl in the World. So I watched it with her. And then she taught me eBay as well. So, fun times. But I remember when I was in like 4th grade, one day there was this YouTube video recommended to me called LPS Popular Episode 8. So I clicked into it because I'm like, I like LPS. So I click into it. I think that was the start of my mental illness. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But I watched it. I watched all the episodes that were before that. I don't know if there were any episodes after that. But I watched the episodes before that, and I obviously watched that one. And then I got immersed into LPS Tube, which is probably why I was never immersed into Shane Dawson, but okay. But yeah, I told my friends about it the next day at school, and that's how we all got into LPS Tube. We would literally take these toys wherever. We would take them to school and play with them together at lunch. I would literally take these bad boys into the shower with me. Not kidding. And one of my friends and I even started like our own YouTube channels for it. She has her channel, which she hasn't used in years. And then I and a best friend of mine created our own channel, which I'll have linked down below. Both of these channels we created in like 6th grade. So, and I think that's the only channel that has videos that has received like hundreds of views. For it being a smaller channel, even smaller than this one, but you know, whatever, I move on as a society. But anyways, since then I haven't really been, you know, up with the LPS lore, I guess. But like a while ago, like a month ago, I saw this video from a YouTube channel called Izzy's or Izzy. And the video is titled A Deep Dive into Littlest Pet Shop. I'll have that video linked down below. And Izzy talked about a particular series on LPS Tube. The one that I was talking about earlier, LPS Popular. And it really just gave me serotonin. It tickled my brain in a way that my brain hadn't been tickled for a decade, probably, most likely. But in this video, I noticed just how not niche LPS Tube really was, specifically the series LPS Popular. So LPS Popular is a series by Sophie GTV or Sophie Garrett, or Kyla, I believe is her like real name. And most of these videos average like 2 million views. I say most, the only video that hasn't gotten like 2 million views is the recent episode. By recent, I mean it was like 2 years ago, and that episode has like 800,000, so it's not lagging behind by much. Literally the first episode of this series, with its terrible quality, has 3.6 million. Yeah. And this episode was released on July 15th, 2010. So, since it's a part of my childhood, and today when you are viewing it is the 11-year anniversary, I thought, why not make a video reviewing season 1 in honor of its 11-year anniversary. And I'm probably gonna do the exact same thing for season 2 when it's its own anniversary, which is like December, I think it's Christmas Day or something, I don't know. Let's get into it. So the story revolves around our protagonist, Savannah Reed, or Savvy, who was childhood best friends with our antagonist, Brooke Hayes, or Brooklyn Hayes, whatever you want to call her. To be honest, it really doesn't matter. They were best friends, and for 8th grade, Brooklyn and her mom, well, her family, moved to California, and she was going to start at this school called Orange County Day School, right, which shortens to OCD. And we start off the season with them now in 11th grade. So it's been like 3 years since. Before I start reviewing each episode, I want to give a trigger warning, or well, a content warning for this whole thing, because this whole series has mentions and talks of eating disorders, body image issues. So if that's something that triggers you, please click off of this video and watch something else. Now let's get into it. So in episode 1, Savvy's parents tell her that they're moving to California due to her father's job. Her parents tell her that she will be attending OCD, Orange County Day School, and we learned that her best friend Brooke, through a flashback sequence, we learn about her best friend Brooke through a flashback sequence. Her mother questions their friendship since Brooke hasn't been returning Savvy's calls or emails whatsoever, and Savvy just brushes this off. Next, we get a moving montage to California Girls by Katy Perry and Snoop Dogg. So I can't necessarily play that, or if not, they're both gonna come for me. But whatever. We see Savvy getting ready for her first day of school at OCD, right? On her first day of school, she meets 2 of our supporting characters, which are Angelina Davis, or Lena, and Genevieve Ryan, or Jenny, who become Savvy's best friends. Savvy sees Sage for the first time in the cliche little way.
Who is he? Ah, I knew that one was coming. The collie? Yeah, that's Sage Bond. He's captain of the football team and jock and haughty extraordinaire. But don't waste your time. He's taken. Ah, figures.
And we, along with Savvy, learn that Sage has a girlfriend, obviously, but we don't know who the girlfriend is necessarily. Then we're introduced to Rachel Rivera and Alicia Hamilton, who are the Barbie dolls, and they have their Queen Barbie doll, which we're not introduced to yet. And then the video ends with probably the most iconic intro I have ever seen in my 18 years of life. So hopefully I can play it. Hopefully it won't get copyright claimed. So, but yeah, literally iconic. It's been years since I've rewatched this whole series. Knew every single lyric though. They just don't do it. They just don't do it. Like, I believe Sophie was like 15 when she created the series. They just don't do it like her. They just don't.
I hate to say it, but they play this song in every club. But it's me, so I'll show love. But it's me, so show me love. And when I walk into the room, people stop and stare. It's like nobody else is there. You know it's me, not you. Who said anything about you? Boys and girls pretend to know me, they try so hard. And I get what I want, my name is my credit card. Don't try to hate me because I am so popular. Pop, pop, popular. Pop, pop, popular.
But anyways, we're in episode 2 now. We're in episode 2. It's episode 2 time. Then we learn who the queen bee is and who Sage's girlfriend is. Surprise, surprise, it's Brooke Hayes. It's the same person, and it's Brooke Hayes. Brooklyn, right? Savvy connects some dots. She does some like internal math, and she immediately runs up to Brooke. I personally don't understand it either. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of this side part, because it was reminding me of some stuff that I don't want to talk about. But anyways, back to Savvy giving me secondhand embarrassment. She runs up to Brooke, she hugs her, and I just have secondhand embarrassment. And to cure that, we're going to play the iconic intro again. Lena and Jenny try to ground Savvy by telling her that they also have secondhand embarrassment from this, as I think anyone else would. Imagine someone just randomly runs up to you and is like, oh my god, Brookie. I would die. I would pass away. I'm not even Brooklyn, but I would pass away. Savvy tries to deflect yet again because she's a deflector. And she goes, no, we're besties. We are like this, guys. We're besties from all the way back in Montana. From like 3 years ago. Savvy, humble yourself. Jenny and Lena are literally shocked by this. They're like, what? Brooklyn had a life before she came here? Can't believe it. Savvy basically tells them that Brooke was just like a huge nerd. And then Savvy is like, you know, she was a dork back then in the days of Montana. But she's hot now. Am I the only one? Yes. Yes, I am the only one. But I am okay with that. Smelling fruit? Am I the only one sensing? Because I think the plot could benefit a lot by making her you know, if you don't understand any of my hand gestures, I am so sorry, you're unseasoned. But I think it would be fun if Savvy was, or you know, I think it would be fun. But anyways, Lena and Jenny try to bring Savannah back into 11th grade, not when she was best friends with Brooklyn in like 5th grade, you know? We've ascended into time. We have progressed. It's 11th grade now. And they tell Savvy all the awful things that Brooklyn has done. Like steal Lena's Gucci bag. And say that Jenny was cheating on a test. Savvy claims that they're just jealous of her because she knew Brooke back in the days of Montana.
I am fucking crazy, but I am free.
She knew Brooke when she was just a disgusting little loser in like 3rd grade, you know? Savvy continues to try and give me secondhand embarrassment yet again, by saying that she's gonna sit at Brooke's table. I don't understand this. I do not know what goals we are achieving with this. When did I open that? When did I open that? A little scared. But I'm gonna power through it because this is a 12-page script. and I do not have time to think about if someone broke into my house right now. But anyways, you know what? Maybe they just want to hear the drama too. Savvy accidentally sits in someone else's seat, and I'm just gonna roll the clip for you because it's way too iconic for me not to.
Hi, I'm Savvy. You're Rachel, right? You're a loser, right? That seat's taken. Move it. Oh, okay.
So anyways, she sits next to Sage, and the rest of the episode is just like class stuff. We're not here for that. We are not here to get an education. We are solely here for the drama. So now we get into episode 3, which begins with Savvy apologizing to Jenny and Lena for thinking that they were just jealous, even though they actually were just jealous, and they literally confessed this to her. And they go to the cafe. It's not a cafeteria, it's a cafe. Because they go to a bougie school. I don't understand because all I've known is low-income schools. So, cafe in their school for lunch. And this is why I gave the content warning earlier, because we see Brooke tell Alicia that all she's gonna have for lunch is just some plain old lettuce, right? So yeah, since Savvy is just so intent on making me feel secondhand embarrassment consistently, she actually goes and sits at their table. Brooke and Savvy leave the cafe and they're behind some vending machine, and Brooke tells Savvy off.
Gives us more privacy. Right. Anyways, oh my gosh, Brooklyn, I've missed you so much. And look at you, you're so beautiful. Give me a hug. Get off me. What? What makes you think you can barge into my life like this? What are you talking about? Look here, Savannah. I am not your BFFL or whatever anymore, okay? That was so 7th grade. This is the 11th grade now, and I am rich and popular and the leader of the Barbie dolls. I don't need losers like you coming and ruining my perfect reputation. What? So stay away from me. We don't know each other, okay? This is my turf, and you play by my rules, or your life is going to be miserable. But, Brookie, end of story. If you can't handle it, then you go right back on to M-Town, where you belong. Oh yeah, and my name is not Brooklyn or Brookie. My name is Brooke, and that's what you will call me.
So Savvy equals heartbroken. But most importantly, we have the intro again, which is honestly just keeping my life together. Savvy tears her room apart, which just has a lot of like Brooke merch.
Oh, that's stupid, pathetic, mean. Take that. Oh. Best friend? Yeah, right. More like a worst friend in a history of the world. You definitely won't be needing this anymore. Oh. How could I barge into your life, Brooklyn? Oh, well, I'm sorry for thinking we were still friends.
So this is a very good time to you know, slide over my LGBTQ plus agenda and make Savvy bi. I would like that. Sophie, please cater to my interests. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyways, it's the next day at school now. And Savvy just shows up in the world's ugliest fit. Let me just move over.
What the fuck is that? I'm scared.
Y'all see it too, right? Y'all see it too? Damn, bro, I moved over and but the quality just got better. Is that me? Also, when was that door open? I have so many questions. But anyways, I'm not understanding fully. What was that? I'm not understanding fully how Savannah can be heartbroken and have absolutely no drip whatsoever. Like, there's no drip, just drab. 110,000% drier than a conservative woman's pussy. Okay, that's it. I said it. Y'all can come for me. That's not me. That's you, sweetheart. That's not me. That's you. Anyways, back to Savannah in the ugliest fit in the world. For some reason, Lena tells her she looks good. And I think Lena needs glasses. So sorry, I still live with my parents. So, U.S. Department of Education, please give me more money. But anyways, so Brooke shows up to bully them. Brooke asks them if they want directions back to Loserville, and she knows them apparently. And I would just like to ask Brooklyn a little question. How do you know the directions back to Loserville? So when I went back to like make sure that one of the like little screenshots that I put right now was correct with the time frame that I'm talking about right now, I saw in the comments that some people were pointing out how Brooke, like 2 minutes ago, was like, you want the directions to Loserville? They're that way, out the door. But then, when she's done roasting Savvy, she literally goes that way. I think Brooklyn is projecting the fact that she's a loser, onto Savvy. Because how do you know the directions to Loserville and then immediately go? That's not making much sense. So Brooklyn roasts Savvy's fib, as she should. Let me move over to the side so that you can remember. You remember that? You remember that? Yeah. That's what we're working with. Savvy, we're in class now, we're in math class. Savvy looks back to look at Brooke longingly. And again, gay agenda. There you go. Make her bi. I'm not the only one that sees this. I am pretty sure everyone who's watching this video sees it as well. I'm 100% sure none of you see it this way. But if you do, please comment below. And if you don't, please comment below. I need engagement. Thank you. Love you. We need this to occur. Please, thank you so much. She gets called out for not paying attention in class when literally no one else is, but whatever, I've been there. One of my teachers called me out for talking to one of my friends and literally separated us, even though everyone else was talking. But I think she just hates me for some reason. I don't know. So Savvy's mom Savannah asked her mom after school, hey, can I like go shopping? And Savvy's mom is like, yeah, sure, where do you want to go? And Savannah brings up all these high-end stores, and Savvy's mom is like, no, what do you think, we are rich? Absolutely not. And then the day after that, Savannah manages to find an even uglier fit. Let me just... Ow, I hit my toe with a ruler.
What the fuck? Stop playing. What the fuck? Stop playing.
You know what? I might just stay here for the rest of the video because the quality over here looks way better. Or am I just delusional? Maybe both. So Lena tells Savvy, hey, your fits are hideous. Let's take you to go shopping and get you a makeover. And that's where it ends. Episode 4 is a little shorter, but basically Savvy tells her mom, and her mom says no to her dyeing her fur blonde. but she agrees to let her dye it red. Okay. Because in this household, we believe in no hair damage. Savvy tells Lena that she can go, and then the next scene again is the reason for the content warning. So Savvy looks at herself in the mirror, and she's basically just criticizing her body for the first time and denying herself food and comparing herself to Brooke, which all three are no's. And then the next day, Savvy skips breakfast, and we have the little shopping montage and the little makeover montage. Okay, episode 5, a little bit of a paragraph, but I mean the episodes just get longer from here on out. Again, the script is 12 pages. So it's the next day, and Savvy captures everyone's attention because now she's hot and sexy, as opposed to before when she wasn't hot or sexy. So Brooke is now mad. Now Savvy has the drip, and Brooke goes to bully her for having that drip. Right? So Brooke asks Savvy about her plastic surgery. Savvy claps back. Jenny and Lena tell Savvy that she should basically be Brooke's competition, and that she should single-handedly take Brooke down for funsies, I presume. Sage notices Savvy, and Brooke and Rachel have some back and forth in class about, well, not in class, but they're like texting each other about what they should do to Savvy. And Alicia texts Rachel and says ink. So Rachel just explodes her lucky pen on Savvy. So Savvy and Sage leave the class so that she can call her mom and get picked up, so that she can wash the ink all off herself. And Sage tells Savvy that it wasn't an accident, Rachel did it on purpose, whatever. Savvy gets home, and meanwhile she's washing it, her mom is like, do you have something to tell me? Because pens don't just be exploding. Savannah, at rich people's schools, you're telling me pens be explode? Okay. But Savvy insists that it was just an accident because she doesn't want to get anyone in trouble or whatever. I don't know. I don't understand. So anyways, Savvy and her besties get into a little three-way call. And she tells them that she has a crush on Sage. And Jenny is like, no. Lena brings up, you should steal Sage. And Savvy's like, no. And Jenny is like, girl, listen, I know you don't want to do this because you think you'd be a little homewrecker, which I mean, you would be. Pero what would you necessarily be wrecking when all they do is make out? And I don't think that is Brooke and Sage's whole relationship, but I'll get into that. We're gonna get into that in episode 2. I mean, not episode 2, season 2. Because it goes in, season 2 talks more about their relationship and stuff. You know, season 2 is of it. Abby tries to ground them into reality by trying not to be a homewrecker, but they convince her to try to be a homewrecker, you know? At least try. Sally's mom comes in and tells her that dinner is ready, but Savvy says she's not hungry, and I'll just roll the clip.
One step closer to overthrowing Brooke. Okay, I guess. So you'll try? Sure. Whoa! Savannah? Oh, guys, I gotta go. Bye. Hi, honey. Dinner's ready. Oh, no thanks. I'm not hungry. Savvy, we need to talk about this. What's there to talk about? Savvy, we both know that something is up with you. You didn't eat dinner on Saturday, and you hardly ate all Sunday. Mom, nothing's wrong, okay? Savannah, I'm not stupid. Is there something you want to talk about? No, nothing. I'm great, Mom. Are you sure about that? Yes, Mom. I'm completely sure. Okay, honey. Well, you look great, and I hope you know that. I want you at the dinner table in 2 minutes, okay? No excuses. Okay, Mom. Okay. Oh, great. She's on to me. I'm gonna have to start eating in front of her. Smells good, Mom. Yes, it does, and boy am I hungry. Have a seat, honey. Where's Dad? He had a meeting, so he'll be back late. Oh, okay. Oh, this is delicious. Oh, who could that be? Hello. Oh, I have a package to deliver for you. He's not here right now. I'll take it for him. Okay, please sign here, please. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Whew. That was just delivery for your father. Oh, you were hungry. Yeah, I was. I guess my appetite finally caught up to me. Oh, I'm so relieved, honey. Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I just wasn't feeling well on the weekend. Well, I'm very glad you're feeling better. I was really worried about you. Did you get enough to eat? Or do you want any dessert? No! Oh, actually, yeah. How about some dessert, Mom? Sure thing, sweetheart. You go wait in your room and I'll bring it to you, okay? Oh, gee, thanks, Mom. You don't have to do that. No, I'll get it, don't worry. Oh, it doesn't feel very good lying to her. Oh, wow. Strawberry shortcake. Thanks, Mom. No problem at all, sweetie. Just let me know if you need anything else, okay? Thanks, Mom. Oh well, this'll all be worth it when I'm skinnier than Brooke. Then Sage will have to like me, right?
No. General advice, don't lose weight for someone else. Porque I'm gonna say this right now, they're not worth it. Episode 6 is a doozy. Don't be fooled by the outfit change. It is still the exact same day. Also, I've now opened the bathroom door myself. I don't know if I had opened it myself a little bit earlier, but now it's open because of me. It could have just been my dog who opened it earlier. But anyways, let's talk about episode 6, because we have a lot to talk about in episode 6. So in episode 6, we open up right where we left off. The besties, the girlies, are like, Brooke's going down, and Savvy's like, tranquila, I'm just talking to a man. It's gonna be okay. So anyways, they go to their first class. Sage and Savvy have a conversation, and then in the middle of that, Rachel apologizes. Cute moment. Savvy asks Sage if they can partner out for their English project. And then they, talk some more. Rachel updates Brooke that now they're working on a project together. Savvy asks Sage if he would like to go to her house to, work on the project. And he says yes. I'm not the only one fangirling about this. But we move on. The girlies tell her, and she tells the girlies, right? I don't know what was going on in my brain when I wrote this, but she tells the girlies, and the girlies are like fangirling, And Savvy's like, chill, we're just doing an English project. It's gonna be okay. Then we pan over to Brooke and her girlies, who ask her what she's going to do about this. Brooke doesn't know what to do, but proves the point that an English project isn't deep, because it isn't. Sage comes over and he asks her if she would like for him to buy her lunch, and she's like, don't worry about it, babe. I already ate lunch yesterday. And he's like, you're supposed to eat every day. And to that, Sage, yes, I agree, you're supposed to eat every single day. But again, we're seeing the EDs going, right? Then the camera pans over to our main girlies, right? Jenny and Lena notice that Savvy hasn't been eating much, and they confront her about it. Savvy tells them that she just hasn't been hungry. And in a morning flashback, we see...
I'll eat this while I walk, Mom. You're walking? I thought you wanted me to drive you. Well, I wanted some exercise. I mean, fresh air. Bye! What should I do with this? Well, that was a lame throw. Well, good enough.
So, anyways, Brooke goes up to the girlies and bullies Savvy because of how she looks, and Savvy runs off crying, and we get this scene.
Is Brooke right? Is what she said true? Yes, she's right, Savannah. Just look at yourself. Look at your legs. Look at these. They are disgusting. Look at your face. Look at your body. Look at yourself and hate it. You should. Savvy, are you okay? I cannot believe what she said to you. Guys, stop it. I'm fine, okay? I can't believe she called you a... wiener dog. Yeah, that's horrible. And you don't believe anything she said about needing to lose weight, right? Savvy, you don't need to lose any weight. Brooke's just jealous. That's not why you've been eating less, is it? No, I don't believe any of it, okay?
Jenny and Lena go to confront Savvy, like the good besties that they are, and Savvy asks them about why she hasn't been eating as much, saying that it's just a stomach bug. Next scene is just Sage going to Savvy's house and calling her room cute, because life. Savvy's mom brings them a snack, and Sage asks her, like, are you gonna eat? And Savvy says she won't because she's not hungry, and Sage basically asks her if she's starving herself because Brooke does that, and it's annoying. Which, I mean, Sage, I hate to break it to you, but your annoyance is not the biggest issue right now on the table. The biggest issue right now on the table is that these girls aren't eating, not, like, you don't matter to the equation. You're like a +0 in the equation. You're like a 0 after a number, right? Like in a decimal. Like if it's 25.50, you're the 0 in the 50. You are the 0 in +0, like, you don't matter right now. So Savvy decides to eat after he tells her that because motivation, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna let my hair loose. I tried to keep it up so I wouldn't play with it, but we're just gonna have to let the girl loose. Foot loose, kick off your Sunday shoes. But not in a side part, middle part, boom. Am I giving you 60s? Probably not. I'm probably giving you, I need to wash my hair because I haven't washed it in a week. Where am I on my script? So they start working on their project, but they have absolutely no clue what the hell they're doing because obviously, and then they, start talking and, getting to know each other, right? And then, they're doing homework. Yeah. Brooke devises a plan to make Savvy's life terrible. Anyways, we're not talking about Brooke anymore. Brooke is irrelevant right now. Ooh, the weather is getting better. Love that. I need to check on my plants. Anyways, more importantly, we have a montage of Sage and Savannah talking. This is not a drill. Sage and Savannah are goofing off, having the time of their lives. This is not a drill. We are not in drill mode. Anyways, so Savvy's mom comes up and tells them dinner is ready. Right? Savvy goes to the bathroom to contemplate whether she should eat or not. She should. Obviously, you should always eat. Nurture your body, people. Nurture your body. Thank you. I don't have COVID. I just choked on my spit. So she decides to eat, and Savvy's father's like, oh, I'm so glad you're eating. Fathers. This is why I have daddy issues. But we move on as a person and as a society and as a people. So Sage has to leave the table because his mom is calling him. Savvy's mom asks her if she likes him. Mom things. This is why I have mommy issues. Sage comes back and says that he has to leave, and Savvy offers him to walk him outside. Savvy's mom and dad giggle because she obviously likes him. Like, we're not new. We've been new this. We've been new. Next, we got a super duper cute little scene. There you go. There you go.
Hey, I had a lot of fun, Savannah. Even if we didn't get much work done.
Yeah, me too.
We should do this more often.
Sage?
I think I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you too, Savannah.
Aww.
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Boo.
Oh, hi, Brooke. Can't you tell me now? In person? Okay, well, that works out. I have something to tell you too. Okay. Okay, bye.
They have a cute little mini conversation about when they're going to tell each other, and then boom, episode over. Let's get into episode 7. Oh my god. Okay, no. Episode 7 isn't that much. We immediately open up to Savvy having a nightmare.
Sorry, sausages can't pass.
Whatever, Brooklyn.
Don't believe us? See for yourself. Ew! Look, it's the sausage.
Ew, look at her fat legs.
Hey! Gosh, Savvy, lose some weight. Look at her legs. They're like fat hot dogs. Want a hot dog, fatty? No! Sage! Brooke, just
Don't even talk to me, Savannah. I would never date a sausage like you.
up and asks herself why she ate dinner. She ate dinner because she needs to nourish her body. Thank you so much. Then she sneaks away to work out intensively until school starts. We get a pretty long montage of her working out, where she collapses at the end, which don't do that. Next scene is Sage pacing around his room, trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life.
Savvy, no. Brooke, oh no, that won't work. Savannah, forget it. I'll just wing it.
Sage!
Yeah, Mom?
Time to go.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. I'll be right there. Oh. I can't forget this.
Same day, but now we're at school. So Savvy walks up to her besties and yawns in their face, and they tell her that she looks god awful. She looks terrible. She tells them that she didn't sleep much, and they ask her about how homework was with Sage, and she fills them in. And basically says that it was fun and that now her crush on Sage is expanding. She walks over to him and they start talking.
Hi, editing Jess here. It may make no sense to you whatsoever why I'm coming in like this, but it's going to make sense in the conclusion. But, so I was going to grab a clip for a scene coming up in a bit, right? And when I was scrolling through the episode to screen record that clip, I saw that this is the episode where, Savvy and Sage are talking, and then the Barbie dolls are in the back, and they see them both talking, and Alicia is oh, do you think he's cheating on you or something like that? And Brooke says, I'm not the girl that boys cheat on, I'm the girl that boys cheat with. And then we have a flashback scene of her and another guy kissing behind the vending machine. Spoiler alert, this guy is Tom. We're going to meet him either in this episode or next episode, but we're going to meet him. His name is Tom. This is all going to make sense later, so don't worry about it, but I wanted to put it in here because this is the episode that I'm referring to in the conclusion with the flashback scene of Brooke kissing Tom. This is where that happens. You're good. It's gonna make sense later. But yeah.
Brooke walks up to them in tears, looking terrible. So Brooke and Sage walk to the back of the vending machine, and we get this.
Seiji, why were you talking to Savannah? Brooke, you know we're just friends.
No, that's not what I mean. Savannah, she really hurt me yesterday.
What? What happened?
Well, yesterday, she came over to me after school, and she said some really mean things to me, things that really hurt me.
What? She seems so sweet. What did she say?
She told me that I was fat and that I had a big tail.
What?
Oh, look at me, Sage. Look at me. I'm crying. She's horrible, and she was the exact same way back in Montana. She was a two-faced little brat.
I never would have thought. Brooke, are you sure?
What do you mean, am I sure? Look at me, Seiji. I'm crying. You know that I never cry.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. I overheard her telling that Lena girl that it's her goal this year to kiss all the boys on the football team. And she's starting with you. You know why? She said that it was because you seemed the dumbest.
What?
That's the reason she's so buddy-buddy with you all of a sudden. All she wants is your lips.
She called me dumb?
She didn't try to kiss you while you were at her house, did she, Seiji? It would kill me to lose you to someone like her.
No. No, babe. She didn't. Wow. I can't believe this.
Oh, yeah. And don't tell anyone, because this is her deepest secret. She also has this rare skin disease. Underneath her fur, it's all red and bumpy and oozes pus. You didn't touch her, did you? She's contagious.
What? Gross! No, I didn't touch her, but I hope I didn't get it.
Well, I'd still be with you, even if you did.
Oh, babe, you're so sweet.
Now, what was that you wanted to talk about, baby?
You know what? Forget it. There's nothing to talk about.
So after this, Sage walks back to Savannah and tells her that he cannot go to her house again after school, and that he doesn't want to talk to her anymore.
Hey, Bond.
Hi. Savannah.
So, hey, do you want to stay over for dinner again today?
Yeah. About that. It's not gonna work out today.
Oh, okay. That's totally fine. How about tomorrow?
No. I'm kind of busy for the whole month.
Okay.
Yeah. When you're done your project, just email it to me or something.
What? I don't have your email.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Okay.
So Savvy connects some dots and basically notices that Sage is being a loser because of Brooke. Now, remember how I said Brooke was crying? Well, just like her, those tears were fake. And she wasn't crying because she was just spewing lies about our homegirl Savannah. She was crying because of this.
So, did it work? Yeah, did it work? Oh, you bet it did. I made up a bunch of crap about how Savannah was mean to me and only wants to kiss a bunch of boys. I even turned on the waterworks by thinking about how my poor Mitzi got run over. Mitzi! Wait! Mitzi! My poor cricket.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any deeper. I'm not discussing that further. I am not discussing that further because I cannot right now. We will discuss it further in season 2 because season 2. Oh! Exactly. After we talk about season 2, you're gonna be like, whoa. So again, she just goes up to Savannah, who's just minding her business, and bullies her with the lies that she was talking about, and she says them super loud enough for the school to hear. So then now everyone is spreading rumors about Savannah. Yeah, she sees Savvy, sees Sage, and he just acts like a total asshole towards her. She runs off crying, and he throws the rose that he had brought to school with him, presumably for Savannah, in the trash. And yeah, that's episode 7.
What the fuck? Stop playing! What the fuck? Stop playing! What the fuck is that?
Episode 8. This was the first episode I ever saw of this series. This episode opens up with Lena and Jenny looking for Savvy. And we hear Savvy crying. They find her. Lena's like, we're gonna be late to class. Do I look like I was here for y'all to go to class? No, I'm here for the drama, not for y'all to go to class. I don't care. Don't graduate. That's not a me issue. Give me drama. But anyways, they skip. Don't do that if you're still in school. Don't skip, but I'm gonna allow it for these characters because 1, they're fictional, 2, they're plastic toys, and 3, I'm here for them to get into chaos, not for them to get an education. I don't know what that accent was, but anyways. So Savvy pulls out some facts, because there's a rumor that she just oozes pus. Y'all heard it too, so don't look at me. So they go to this little abandoned warehouse room in their school. Savvy starts to feel dizzy because she hasn't eaten anything in a while. Lena offers her a granola bar, and we see a hallucination of an angel and a devil, right? The angel is telling her, like, hey, eat the granola bar. You deserve to feed and nourish your body no matter what, and then the devil tells her, no, don't eat the granola bar because you're fat and you're going to gain weight from eating the granola bar. And then the angel is like, no, eat the granola bar, like, you're going to live. And she eats a bite of the granola bar. Next, they start talking about Brooke and just all her lies. Afterwards, we have like a little flashback scene from when Brooke and Savvy were friends, and we see Brooke manipulate Savvy into giving her an outfit that Savvy was planning to wear the next day so that Brooke can wear it the next day to impress one of her crushes. Finally, Savvy agrees that she is Brooke's competition, and they promise that they're just not going to be like Brooke. In someone's video that I saw doing this exact same concept that I didn't talk about in the intro because I forgot because I wasn't following my script, there was a video made from someone named Caitlin. I forgot her last name. I don't remember if it was, I believe it wasn't her YouTube username, but I don't remember it right now. Where she basically did a video like rewatching episode popular 11 years later, yeah. Basically the exact same thing I'm doing right now, but, you know, I'm just doing it with way too much detail. But anyways, in her video, she talks about how they never really gave specific steps on how they're not going to be like Brooke. They're just like, we're not going to be like Brooke. I don't understand how you're going to achieve that goal with no steps, but I'm glad you're you know, doing that. Savvy stares at Brooke and Sage longingly because bisexual, I'm sorry. Jenny then decides to drop some facts by saying,
Oh, Sav, he's not worth your time. If he believes her lies, come on. He must be a total doorknob. Yeah, and hello. Don't you remember what we were just talking about? Yeah, I guess you're right.
So, rumors continue to spread about what Brooke had said earlier. And it's lunchtime now, and Brooke just continues berating Savvy because she apparently has nothing better to do in her life. However, Sage comes and she switches it up because she's fake. Savvy continues to deny herself food, and she runs away. She runs off, and she bumps into a new character whose name is Tom. We've seen him before, but he didn't really have a name. Well, we didn't know his name. Now we know his name. His name is Tommy. He's pretty cool. We're gonna talk about him more towards the end, but he's pretty cool. I'm a Tom stan. I'm a Tom stan. I'm way more of a Tom stan than I am a Sage stan. Even though Tom kind of upsets me in season 2. But I support Tom more than I ever will Sage. And that's not a personal flaw of mine because I am absolutely correct in standing Tom more than I stand Sage. So they have some flirty banter. I'm just gonna play it for you so you can see it for yourself because it's pretty cute.
Gosh. Here, let me help you.
Hey, no, don't worry about it. Where were you headed off to in such a hurry?
Nowhere important.
Okay, Savannah.
How did you... Oh.
Everyone knows your name, Savannah. It's a fact of life when you're one of the hottest girls in school. I'm Tom. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, I guess. Nice to meet you too, Tom.
Just for the record, I don't believe that rumor about your rash. You look perfectly healthy to me.
Thank you. I'm glad someone sees through, Brooke.
Although, I am on the football team, so you know, if...
That rumor isn't true either.
Aw, darn. I guess you can't believe everything you hear.
Nope. According to a few people, I'm a hippopotamus.
Well, gee, wouldn't that be something?
Yes, it would. Apparently, I used to weigh over 300 pounds, too.
Well now, that's far-fetched. Who could believe that?
You think so?
Are you kidding? Look at you. I'm surprised the wind doesn't carry you off.
Thanks. I guess.
Oh, hey, I'm in your math class. I sit at the back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, we should hang out sometime. You know, get to know each other.
You know what? That would be cool, Tom.
Sweet. Well, it was a pleasure crashing into you, Savannah. We should do it again some other time.
Okay.
Next scene, we get Savvy once again criticizing her body and her clothes. She asks herself, why doesn't Sage like me? And we get...
Why does this look so horrible? What's wrong with me? And why doesn't Sage believe me?
Because, Savannah, you're not as skinny as Brooke. A bit more healthy dieting will do you good.
You call this healthy? You're destroying your body, not helping it. Besides, a boy will like you for who you are inside, not how you look. And remember what Tom said? He said he's surprised the wind doesn't carry you off.
Whatever. Tom must be a total doorknob.
You're a total doorknob.
You wanna go, Sparkly?
Bring it.
Shut up! Cue Sage in his room again, figuring his life out for like the second time now. Baby, you're like what, 16? Come on now. Come on now.
Guess I should have known about Savannah. Seen this before. They'll be super nice, but deep down they're just another carbon copy of some of the selling sort of brats around here. I just don't get it. She seemed perfect for me. I mean, sure, Brooke's drop dead gorgeous and all, but sometimes I wonder if she's actually the squirrel. No, just a trash can. Anyway, but Brooke was crying, so she must be telling the truth. Brooke never cries, unless it's something serious, like when...
Don't understand that. I don't. This is why I'm not a Sage fan. This is why. These are the reasons why. Cue now to Brooke, who is crying in her room and throwing up her food due to her ED. She talks to her pet cricket about how she's gained 3 pounds, can't eat dinner for a week because of that. and how much / what she just threw up, and how hard it is to continue going through this ED. She criticizes herself in a pair of pants and how Savvy is just so pretty. And how she says she's trying to be perfect, but it's hard. And Sage may like Savvy. And I keep on bringing it up, but we're going to understand more Brooke in season 2, and honestly, I'm not really that empathetic towards Brooke's character in season 1. Maybe towards the end. But season 2 is really where you start developing some empathy towards Brooke. Then again, season 2, you start to develop more empathy towards Brooke's character, even though season 2 is not finished, right? But you get like more insight into why Brooke is the way that she is. And I'm not going to dive deeper into that because that's for a season 2. That's for the season 2 video, right? Her and her pet bond a bit. The moment gets interrupted by the butler who brought a note from her mom. This is how that goes.
What do you want? Miss Hayes, your mother left a note for you in the kitchen.
What a big surprise.
And, she said that she wouldn't be home till late.
Again? Oh, my dog. She's always working.
Yes, well... Here's the note, miss.
Oh, thanks. Let's see this. Brooke, won't be home until you're in bed. Don't eat any carbs for dinner. You've been looking puffy lately?
That's all? That's all you have to say to me?
Next scene, we're back to Savvy. She goes to her mom and asks her if a boy believes a rumor about you. Her mom is like, I know this is about Sage, and you know what? You're just gonna show him what he's missing. Show him what he's missing. Savvy's mom brings out the facts. She's like, listen, honey, if some random man in the universe is just gonna believe some like stupid little rumor about you, why be with him? Show that dumb boy what he's missing. Show that dumb boy what he's missing. Wholeheartedly agree. We see them all sigh. Just like that. And then boom, the episode's over. Like I said, it's ironic because I just said you get more empathetic towards Brooke's character in season 2. But at the same time, she also gets worse in season 2. This episode really does make me empathetic towards Brooke and her struggles with seeking perfection and wanting to look like the body standards of the time. Remember, this is like 2010, so like the body standard was like stick thin, you know? But you do, it's real weird. Because you do become more empathetic to Brooke's character, and through her relationships with Sage and her mother and her father, you become more empathetic towards her character. But with her relationship towards Savvy, you really start to dislike her, right? So you have to like empathy, but then you also have to like disgust. But even with how she treats Savvy in season 2, you're still empathetic, right? And I'm trying not to give any spoilers away right now. You're gonna see what I mean in season 2, like when you watch the season 2 video, or if you just watch season 2 by yourself, you know, you don't need to watch it with me, that's cool. But when you see that, you're gonna come back to this video and you're gonna be like, you know what, Jess? I understand your crazy ramblings. But anyways, now it's time for episodio 9. Next episode. Oh, I bit my lip. We are showing lousy, disgusting, gross men, aka Sage, what they're missing. And I am here for it. My chihuahua is here for it. We are here for it. So the episode opens up with Savvy waking up and reading a note from her mom where she tells her that she has to go to work early and to show Sage and everyone else what the hell they're missing from Miss Savannah Reed. Facts. 100%. So Savvy gets ready to show everyone what they're missing, because now she's a bad bitch and she's that bitch, right? Again, we have the angel and the devil appear, and she decides to not eat her breakfast and just give it to the little stray animals. Pero now it's time for school. Escuela time, hora de escuela. Time to go to school. So Brooke asks her besties if she's starting to look chubby, and because they're afraid of Brooke, they say no. Savvy shows up and starts roasting people.
Oh my gosh, it's Savannah.
She looks kinda hot.
Oh, great.
What's wrong, babe?
Oh, nothing. Don't look over there. Just keep kissing me.
Hey, Savannah, how's your rash?
Hey, David, how's your acne? Because from what I see, the situation doesn't look too promising. Don't look. Just keep kissing.
Hey, Savannah. Is it true you used to weigh 300 pounds?
Of course. Isn't it obvious?
Hey, Savannah, is it true you kiss any boy you can get your hands on?
That's what I heard too. Oh, really? Well, does this answer your question? Ew! Wait, Savannah, is it true that you're actually a hippopotamus? Honey, you've got that one wrong. I'm a rhinoceros.
And then Savvy goes up to her friends and she's like, listen, I am that bitch. And her friends are like, yes, you are. Yes. Sage keeps eyeing Savvy and Brooke stops him. Class starts. Brooke and Sage are like, moi, moi, moi. Over here at his desk, you know. Savvy calls out Sage for being lazy and uncooperative because in the last episode, he was like, I'm not going to hang out with you anymore. Just forward me your side of the project. And she was like, I don't even know your email. And he was like, okay. So she was like, listen, homie. Meeting. He's not cooperating with me. He refuses to work with me. And then our king, this is not the royal we. This is not the royal we. All of us agree that Tom is our king. We all love Tom in this household. This is a Tom loving household. He shows up because he transferred into Savvy's class. So now he's working with Savvy on the project. And Sage is working on the project by himself because he's a loser and now he regrets his sins. Good on you, Savvy. Good on you. You are 100% teaching him what he's missing. 1000%, as you should. So we get more flirty banter between Tom and Savvy, not Tom and Sage. Tom and Savvy. Tommy, is that their like ship name? Tommy? I don't know. Tom asked Savvy if she would like to sit at the footballers table, you know, one of the iconic tables. And she agrees, and she asks if her friends could join. And he says, I wanted you, bruh. But if you want your friends to join, they can, obviously. I just realized you can still see my tan line. Oh my god. Besties freak out over this, as they should. Anyways, now it's lunchtime. Rumors start to swirl about Savvy sitting at the football table. And now it's Brooke's turn to connect dots 1 and 2. Because she and Tom were once a thing, and we saw that, I believe, in this episode through a flashback, or through like another episode later on, in a flashback where they're like behind a vending machine, and Brooke is like, is your girlfriend here today? And he's like, no. Remember that. All right, so, I think the first thing that I need to address with this clip and going forward is that, yes, my hair is now curly again. I don't know what this strand is trying to do, but yeah, now I have filmed on different days. And 2 is that I realized that this video is probably gonna go up on or around July 15th. And then and then the video after this one, I'm gonna have brown hair. And the reason for that is that I pre-filmed that one. Yeah. But anyways, we're not here to talk about my life and my situation. We are here to continue the discussion on LPS Popular. We have 7 episodes left because remember, season 1 has 17 episodes. I don't know how many season 2 has, but season 2 isn't even finished. So my cup is so sticky from like drizzling caramel on it, or well, in it. But this tastes great. This tastes like a McDonald's caramel frappe. Next time though, like whenever I can, I want to blend it so that it can be truly that consistency and taste like that as well. But anyways, that's not what we're here for. So episode 10 starts off with Brooke stressing because of recent developments that we have seen from the episode before this one, right? Sage hasn't gone to her table as well, but regardless of that, Tom, our king, leaves to go to the bathroom and Brooke follows him. They meet in the hallway and make a deal, and I want you to remember this deal because it's going to come up, I believe, in episode 15. But yeah, the bell rings and everyone leaves for class, and meanwhile they're leaving for class, Savvy and Jenny see Tom and Brooke talking, right? And then Brooke walks off, and Tom is like, I bet you're probably wondering why I was talking with Brooke. And she's like, no, I wasn't, but really she was. And he's like, oh, I was just helping her with something, whatever. Then they have some little flirty banter, and now Tom is confused on his life. 2 people walk up to them, and start to compliment Savvy and Jenny, right? And we start to see Savvy and Jenny's egos just inflate. So Savvy walks in late to class, and she sits next to Tom. We have some more flirty banter. Meanwhile, in the background, we have Brooke losing her mind. In the midst of that, some people start talking back to Brooke because she's like, oh, Sage hasn't texted me, and you know, just basically nonsense. And people are like, Brooke, stop. The teacher stops teaching, and people walk over to Savvy and just, you know, start talking to her, start complimenting her. And Brooke is once again losing her mind because she's like, these are the people that come to compliment me. Why aren't they complimenting me? Am I losing my voice? No, I just need more iced coffee. Oh, right, the weather's changing, and whenever the seasons change, my body starts to act up. Plus, I'm filming this on July 3rd, and there's like a hurricane coming or something. I have no clue. Remember, I live in Florida. I have no clue whenever anything occurs in my lifetime, truly, sincerely. Okay, so then it's after school, and she's just pacing back and forth in her room. I don't want 20% off of Byte VPN, thank you. So Brooke is just losing it, and then she's screaming on the phone, and then she stops worrying about Savvy. Listen, if I understood things in my lifetime, I'd probably be a genius. And then Brooke devises a plan, or starts to plan a plan to make herself Queen Bee again, and to remind all these hoes that she is that bitch. Which we are going to see this plan develop even further in episode 13. Episode 13, I believe. But now we're in episode 11. So we open back up with Brooke just pacing around in her room, and being upset that Rachel is late. Brooke and Rachel have an argument when Rachel finally shows up about Nathan and how he sucks, which again is going to come up at the end of the season, right? But Nathan does suck. This is a Nathan hate page. I am a Nathan hater. I don't know if you could, nah, you probably can't see my dog on the floor, obviously not. Many comments is about Savvy, because at this point they're just Savvy fans, you know, but whatever. If people were having meetings to talk about me, I would just call them fans, like, baby, what's this fan club you made for me? That's so sweet. So they start to devise a plan to bring Savvy down and basically ruin her social status, because peaking in high school is only for elite people. If you can't peak in high school, that's an issue. I mean, look at all the men who peaked at high school. Where are they now? In loveless marriages where they don't know how to do anything for themselves. And just hold a fish in pictures. And are sexist and bigots. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about LPS popular. So their plan to remain popular is that they're gonna buy clothes and talk to losers. I literally did that on the daily. Oh my god, I sound so mean. I love my friends though. I love my friends, but we're not like high on the social ladder by any means. Love you guys. I mean, they're the only people watching this, so thank you. Love you. I love you. I mean, I talk to theater nerds. Obviously, we're not the elites of my school. I mean, popularity is just peaking in high school. Why would I want to peak at high school? Again, remember the guys that I talked to earlier about Hoopika High School. But anyways, Rachel takes this opportunity to ask Brooke is she still keeping her meals inside of her body and not throwing them up. Brooke gets defensive because Rachel is right. She is 100% throwing up her meals. But anyways, we move on to the next day at school where they wear these massive diamonds on their neck. I'm not rich, so I wouldn't understand, you know. Everyone compliments them, but then Savvy shows up with a flower on her head, and everyone goes and compliments her. And then I'm assuming that it's the next day at school, and everyone is just wearing a flower on their head because of Savvy, because she's a trendsetter. I'm assuming again that it's the day after this. And Brooke sees Savvy talking to another girl, and her and the other girl are just like complimenting each other. And Brooke tries to talk to the other girl, but the other girl just completely ignores her and goes back to talking to Savvy. Some guys compliment Brooke, I guess. And she's like, hee hee. But then Savvy and Jenny walk by and they basically just catcall her by like whistling at her and telling her like Savannah Reed, more like Savannah Fine. I don't understand either. Truly, I don't. Sage and Brooke make out, but Sage is basically not feeling it and is practically ignoring her. Like, she's not answering her texts or her calls or whatever. She's just, I mean, he is not answering her, right? And again, I feel bad for Brooke, and I think you understand it more when you see season 2 again, because there is an episode dedicated to their relationship, and once you get like a more empathetic look at Brooke's life, you start to understand why it's so heartbreaking to see Sage like start pulling away from her, right? And you start to understand her perspective more, even though I don't think her perspective is right. And I guess we could talk about that more at the end in like the little conclusion section. But yeah. Meanwhile, they're having this like one-to-one heart-to-heart. There's a fight that breaks out, and Savvy stands up for the nerdy character, and then Tom comes in and stands up for her. They have more flirty banter. And then it's lunchtime now. It's lunchtime now, and Sage and Savvy are like the only two people in the hallway. And Savvy just uses his words against him, because remember in the episode where he believed the rumors because he's a stupid little loser boy? He was like, save it, Savannah, I don't want to hear it. Now she was like, save it, Sage, I don't want to hear it. Boom, clap, that's the sound of my heartbeat. And he punches the locker and leaves because he's a man. Episode 12. Okay. We're starting to get a little bit into the more juicier episodes. I would say the juicier episodes, I think 13 could be a little juicy episode, but 14 through 17 are perfection. So anyways, episode 12, next episode, we open up to Savvy and Jenny just, staring at each other in the mirror. Lena is there as well, and she's trying to be responsible and do her homework. And she's like, are you guys gonna do your tarea? And Savvy's like, I'm too pretty. And I mean, I wish I could be like that, but no. Do your homework, kids. Get educated, please. I beg you, please. I will get on my hands and knees right now and beg. you get educated. But anyways, Lena just continues trying to do her homework because, again, responsible queen. Meanwhile, Jenny and Savvy just continuously ignore her and continuously try to gossip. Jenny is like, I've been texting Nathan. And Lena, trying to bring her back, you know, into the realm that we are currently in, is like, you know he has a girlfriend, right? And Jenny is like, well, we're just texting. And then Savvy and Jenny just start to roast Rachel. And again, I am a Rachel fan, not stan, fan. So I did not like this. They're basically like, oh my god, she's so stupid. And no, she's not. I, again, am a Rachel supporter. So we're gonna have to leave the Rachel hate to someone else. Savvy asks Lena if she's like interested in any man. And Lena's like, no. Again, trying to shove the gay agenda down your children's throats because that's what I do best. Hello, look at my haircut.
Touch my neck and I'll touch yours.
Exactly. Anyways, I feel like this is a great opportunity to be like, no, Lena doesn't like any men because she's interested in women. Sophie, I'm just giving you these ideas. Just credit me. LGBTQ representation. But that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. But anyway, so Savvy's mom comes in with the phone and she's like, someone wants to talk to you. And it's Tom. And Tom basically tells her, hey, sit at my table tomorrow because I have something planned for us. Right? The girls are freaking out, and by girls, I mean Jenny. Lena's just vibing, right? So Lena leaves because they're just not paying any attention to her. Meanwhile, Savvy and Jenny are just giggling in the corner about Tom. Next day at school, Savvy roasts Lena's fit. I don't know why. And then Brooke comes in to shit on Savvy because she's stealing her man, even though Savvy's interested in another man and basically just, you know, told your man, hey, leave me alone. But Savvy gives us the best line in probably like the whole series. So I'm just gonna play it out for you to watch.
He doesn't like you. Oh, Brookie. Touchy, touchy. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Brooklyn. As a matter of fact, your precious little boyfriend was actually the one to speak to me, not the other way around. As if, Savannah. I don't know if your fat little head missed the memo, but Sage no longer wants anything to do with you. I made sure of that. I knew you had something to do with that. That's just so like you, Brooke. Well, what can I say? Felines know how to mark their territory. Well, maybe if you weren't so insecure, you wouldn't feel the need to mark your territory. I am not insecure. I'd be careful if I were you, Brookie. I'm not interested in your boyfriend right now, but who knows? Maybe I'll become interested. And before you know it, he'll be wrapped around my paw. Oh, really? You sure talk the talk, honey, but that's the problem with you. You're all talk and no action. Really? Well, let's face it, Brooke. Your problem is that you're 100% peanut butter and jealous of me. Oh, is that what you eat for lunch every day, Brooke? A peanut butter and jealous sandwich?
You are such a child, Savannah. Oh, by the way, I'd keep an eye on Tom if I were you, honey. Just a warning.
Now it's lunchtime. Alicia goes to get lunch for Brooke, and then Brooke starts to feel dizzy and is basically just hyperventilating. Alicia comes with her food, arrives with it, and she fights against herself on whether she should eat or not, but she decides to eat regardless because she's hungry. And at the footballers' table, Lena's just being ignored again. More flirty banter between people. Back at Brooke's table, we have Sage coming and just starts to scream at Brooke because she started making out with him. However, more importantly, we get this scene.
Everybody, may I have your attention, please? Hey, look.
What's going on?
Thank you, everyone. I have something very important to say.
What's going on?
And I want everyone to hear it. Savannah, I think you're the most beautiful girl at OCD. And I like you a lot.
That's so cute. Aww.
Will you take this necklace and be my girlfriend? Well, will you?
Yes, Tom. I will.
Such a cute couple.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Huh?
Brooke! What are you doing? Brooke, seriously, get off! Stop it! Get off! Brooke, seriously, get off! What on earth? What?
What an attention hog. That's embarrassing.
She totally deserved that. Brooke is so last week. Nobody likes her anymore.
Oh! Dog, Brooke! What's wrong with you?
Sage! Wait! I'm sorry! Brooke, Brooke! Thanks for the necklace, boyfriend.
You're welcome. It looks...
And that's all. That's episode 12. So now we have episode 13. After, prepare. So episode 13 begins with the Barbie dolls skipping school and they go to a cafe. Rachel confronts Brooke about when she went to the bathroom and is like, did you, throw up what you ate? And Brooke is like, yes, but I don't need any help. But yes, you do. And if you relate to what Brooke is doing, please seek professional help. Thank you. I'll have the hotline down below if there exists one for this kind of stuff. But yeah. So at the cafe, Brooke says Savvy's full legal name. She's like, Savannah Reed. And I'm like, who are you, her mother? But anyways, and she says she's going to squash her like a bug for allegedly trying to steal her man. Even though, as we saw, Savannah has her own man and has paid no mind and no attention to Sage since the rumors started swirling around and he started believing them like a dummy. But I don't know. Brooke has apparently started planning her revenge towards Savvy, and her plan is called Operation Fry the Sausage, because Yes. So Brooke tells her that the Friday coming up, the Friday that week, is her and Sage's, hold on, my eye itches, her and Sage's 3rd year anniversary. So she's going to be throwing the party of the century, which is the title for episode 14. If you didn't, I don't know if you knew that, but now you know. That's the title for episode 14, Party of the Century. I mean, she is right if you're calling it the Party of the Century, because it's been like, what, almost over a decade? Because I think these episodes premiered in 2011 or 2012. So it's been nearly a decade and we're still talking about this. So, I mean, but yeah. Everyone is invited, and during this party, she was going to make Savannah regret her existence, and wish she never messed with Brooke, right? So the next day at school, Brooke announces this party, and Savvy and Tom decide to make this their first official date. Sage goes up to Brooke and apologizes because finally he does one thing correctly. So at Savvy's house, they're planning how to be even cooler, and she basically tells them to get makeovers, because when she got her makeover in episode 4, episode 3 or 4, I believe it was 4, 4, when she got her makeover in episode 4, it was the best thing in her life, right? So she wants that for our homegirls as well. She wants them to live their best life with their new makeover and their costumes for the party, right? So they decide to skip school the next day so that they can go get their makeovers and their fits. And Savvy apologizes for leaving Lena out, and meanwhile they were getting their egos inflated. Lena, our queen, we stan, kind of 80% stan. You'll see in season 2 why. She forgives them, right? They promise to never be like Brooke. Again, we never have a plan for how they're going to achieve not being like Brooke, but I mean, whatever. You know, like, y'all couldn't think of something to do to not be like Brooke? Like, I don't know, therapy. Anyways, back at Brooke, who's looking at a poster that she made about her operation. I don't understand either. And she says today is the day that they're going to embarrass Savvy, right? And y'all remember what I told you to remember in, I think, episode 10? I remember that? No. So Brooke calls Tom. Yeah, I know, I'm dramatic. Anyways, episode 14, Party of the Century. This episode is practically the catalyst for every single other drama that's going to occur in this season and next season. Oh! This is also the most viewed episode of this series, just as a whole. I don't remember how many views it has, but millions. These episodes are crazy. These episodes are madness. Okay, so the episode begins with them just going through everything, right? Alicia, I don't know why I could like barely pronounce her name for a second there. But Alicia bought some black hair dye that is so permanent that the cashier lady barely let her buy it. English? I don't know. Throughout this whole scene, you can see that Rachel's like not really feeling the vibe, because Rachel is a queen, but nevertheless, she brought what she needed, which was super bonding glue. Brooke stores all the things that they're gonna need. to do this thing in the closet behind her. Remember this closet is important. But anyways, and she tells them that she added expired eggs and hair removal cream to the plan. I really don't understand this because in later episodes they explain what they were going to do, which, spoiler alert, was basically just dye her hair black and make her look ugly, right? But the problem with that is, like, why did Alicia go through all the trouble to get the black hair dye for Brooke just to add hair removal cream to the plan? You know, but whatever. So the party starts, right? And yeah. The party starts, but later in a bit, I'm gonna be jumping over this whole timeline, but whatever. In like a little bit, when Savvy and her friends arrive, the party gets interrupted by their beauty. And I just want to talk about the costuming of these plastic toys for a second, because there's something real cool that Sophie did with costuming. And I know it's like basic costuming because Brooke is like the devil, and Savvy is dressed up as the angel. And I know it's like basic costumes because, like, yeah, in the series we're meant to hate Brooke, and we're meant to like Savvy. But I mean, I don't know, because again, I am empathetic towards Brooke. I don't know if they necessarily fit the costuming thing, like, you know, because people hate the devil and love angels. But it fits with what we're supposed to like subconsciously think, right? Because that's what goes into our subconscious. I study art. I was a theater kid for like 4 years. Okay, I know a thing or two about costuming and like colors and whatever. I remember, technically it's pink, but like it's supposed to be red. You get me? And red, the devil's color, is supposed to be like this intense color. Meanwhile, white is supposed to like symbolize purity in our Western society and culture. But again, the costuming, it goes into our subconscious of like, again, we're supposed to hate Brooke's character, and by the end of season 1, you do hate Brooke's character. Maybe you feel a little empathetic towards her because of the ending of episode 17, which we're going to talk about. But again, like subconsciously, you just hate Brooke and love Savvy because that's how we're taught in our Western society. You're supposed to hate the devil, and like the angel, right? So I just wanted to talk about that because, yes. But for right now in the episode, Savvy still hasn't shown up. Goes up to these guys. Meanwhile, the party is like, you know, getting started and whatever. And she's like, oh, can you guys tell me when... She basically just reminded them, like, you're supposed to tell me when Sage, Tom, and Brooke show up. Savvy show up. And the character basically tells them that Sage and Tom have already arrived, but Savvy hasn't yet, right? Brooke bumps into her boyfriend, and this is why I don't like Sage, because he just slut shames her outfit. He's like, oh, that costume's really revealing. And, you know, Brooke makes a joke about it. She's like, oh, come on, not like you haven't seen a bra before. And I'm like, sir, you're dressed as a snowboarder.
What the fuck is that? I'm scared.
Leave your girlfriend alone. Leave the girlfriend you've been abandoning all this time alone. Please and thank you. I have no time for this. I have no time for this. So Brooke tells them that she has something planned for them, like something romantic for their 3rd year anniversary, which, we're gonna see how hard that plan fails and every single plan that Brooke made for tonight. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. You know? So, the character that Brooke was talking to earlier comes up to them. Meanwhile, they're making out and is like, oh, Savvy's here. Savvy and her friends walk in and boom, party shuts down. But then Lena's like, y'all didn't have to stop the party for us. Start it up again, come on. Brooke, mad. I wrote her name as Broke accidentally in my notes. Tom goes up to the Girdleys and he doesn't slut shame their outfits whatsoever. This is why I am a Tom supporter. Tom would never slut shame us. Tom is like, y'all look great. This is why I support Tom. Nathan and Alicia's man are basically acting like total pigs because they're men. Brooke is not paying attention to her man. Practically the usual. They just don't pay attention to each other because they have an obsession with Savvy, but you know, that's whatever. So Brooke goes up to Rachel and Alicia to tell them to initiate phase 1 of the plan, right? And meanwhile this conversation is going on, Tom goes up to Savvy and is like, I'm gonna go get Punch, right? So he goes to get Punch. Brooke sees him and they go upstairs to talk. Nathan screams at Rachel and then leaves so that he can go cheat on Rachel because he's a pig, because he's a man. Savvy goes up to where Tom should be, which is at the like little refreshment thing. And she's like, where's Tom? And one of the dudes is like, oh, I saw him go upstairs. So Savvy goes upstairs and finds them making out. Finds Brooke and Tom. You know? I feel like I need to address something because I know y'all are like, Jess, you've been heavily pushing me forward into the Tom Stan group, but now he's cheating on Savvy, right? And listen, I don't like cheaters as much as the next. Cheaters disgust me as a person, okay? But you're gonna see Tom's explanation in the next episode. So hold on. Hold on, you're going to understand. And the episode ends with Savvy crying behind the DJ booth. Remember this. Now we're at episode 15, right? Episode 15 from my notes looks like a shorter episode. Well, all of these are like, I think under 10 minutes. So we start off with Nathan being a pig and just making out with Jenny. Rachel sees them and Nathan, because he's a man, is like, we're done. Yeah, I sure hope you're done. I sure hope you're done. Because what we're not going to do is continue to string my best girly Rachel through this. I am not playing these games with you, Nathan. And if I was there, I would have thrown hands. I don't care if you're a footballer and I'm 5'2" and barely have any upper arm strength. But this is not what we're doing. This is not what we're doing. So Rachel goes up to Alicia. Alicia's drunk. And Rachel's like, can we please leave? Because she just caught her boyfriend cheating on her, you know. And then Sage goes up to both of them, and Alicia, because she's drunk, tells the whole plan to Sage. And Rachel tells him to go upstairs, right? And Rachel tells Alicia in private after Sage left that she's done with Brooke. And I completely 100% support this notion. I totally agree with her, right? So Sage goes upstairs. Meanwhile, Tom is coming downstairs. Tom is like scared, shook, and panicking, right? And he runs away. But meanwhile, Sage is upstairs. He sees a girl named Megan, remember her, bump into Brooke, and Brooke just... I can't really explain it, so I'm just gonna insert that portion in here.
Oh, my dog! Brooke, I am so sorry. What is wrong with you? I just broke 2 claws thanks to you. I'm sorry?
Why the fur are you here, Megan?
And why are you upstairs snooping around in my house? You said everyone was invited, and I was looking for you.
Well, you should have known that everyone didn't include you. Okay, Brooke. Okay.
What is this really about?
Are you still mad from 8th grade when I went out with Carter?
That was 3 years ago. You have Sage now, so what does it even matter?
Are you seriously that insecure?
Insecure? Me? Insecure? Have you been sniffing dog food?
Well, Brooke, I've been nothing but nice to you, and all you've been is a female dog. Is there some sort of problem we need to talk about? Because I miss being friends.
Yeah, I do have a problem with you, Megan. My problem is you and your fat tail in my house. Oh, this is my party, my day, and there is no way I am letting a pig like you ruin it. And if you ever think that I would be friends with you again, then you're... Brooke! Shut up, Megan! My dog! You never know when to stop! Get your ugly rear end out of my face and out of my house! Made another one cry. Second time today. 50 points for Brooke.
And I truly have no comment for any of this. No commentary, just vibes. So because Sage was upstairs, right? He sees all of this and he breaks up with Brooke. So after Savvy's mental breakdown, she goes to look for her friends so that they can leave the party. But instead of finding Jenny, who's making out with Nathan, and Lena, she bumps into Sage. Woo? So they go somewhere private to talk. The closet. They went into the closet. Brooke goes downstairs to her friends and Rachel tells her off, as she should. Next it cuts to Sage and Savvy in the closet, like I told you they would be. Where, remember what I told you to remember in episode 14? Yeah, the materials to destroy Savvy's life are in that closet. Could that be a metaphor? Okay, I'm gonna stop shoving the gay agenda down your kids' throats now. I'm gonna stop. I'll allow for the straight people to push their agenda onto your kids. Whatever. I move on as a person. Savvy tells Sage that she saw Tom and Brooke making out, and that Brooke was lying with the rumors. They apologize to each other. Sage finally connects dots 1 and 2. It was literally a straight line, Sage. There was no need for you to take this much time doing it. And...
much better. The first thing I want to say is that I like you. The second thing is this.
Come get your ride, come get your ride, come see how fun it's gonna be alive.
Hurry up, Alicia! Okay. Can I throw the eggs? I love throwing eggs. Yeah, whatever. What the? No.
Come get your ride, come see how fun it's gonna be alive. Come inside, and baby, get your ride.
I told you, I said from the beginning, episode 14 through 15 are importante. So I guess episode 16 is where we get Tom's explanation for everything, right? So episode 16 is part 1 of the season finale for season 1. We've been through a long ride, you and I, and we've finally made it to almost the end. We get a new intro. Personally, I enjoy the original intro, but the song slaps. Oh, hi. The song still slaps, and the editing is pretty fantastic for it to be 2011 or 2012, you know? Someone needs to hire my girl Sophie somewhere to edit something. I don't care what she's editing, but she needs to edit something, right? But anyways, now it's drama time. So Brooke attacks Savvy after what we saw in the last clip, right? Savvy, not okay. Sage, mad and slapped. Everyone starts to gang up on my pobrecito little man, Tom. Y me parte el corazón porque he doesn't deserve that. Tom tries to explain things, but, you know, Brooke is busy, like, trying to catch a case. She's busy trying to catch some charges, for assault towards Savannah. Which, I mean, she never does, but we'll discuss that in season 2. Right? So everyone's just screaming, going back and forth. Alicia screams at all of them, and they pay attention to her. She separates them, and she tells Tom to start explaining his story. So Tom begins to explain, and basically all of this started last year in their sophomore year, right? He says that in his sophomore year, he had a little crush on Brooke, and he noticed that Brooke disliked Megan. Remember the girl from before that she disliked since 8th grade? Yeah, he noticed that. So he talks to Megan, and they basically agree that he's going to pay her to pretend to be his girlfriend so that he can get Brooke's attention. So basically, his plan works because Brooke hates Megan. Y'all remember that? Yeah, that. So to get back at Megan, she starts secretly cheating on Sage with Tom. She says that they were in a break or whatever, but I'm just gonna say she secretly cheated because I can. And we get the flashback scene from before. Now, I told y'all to remember that flashback sequence when Brooke was like, men don't cheat on me, they cheat with me, right? We had a flashback sequence of her thinking, I think it was in the episode where Brooke started to, like, spread some rumors about Savvy, right? And Alicia was like, oh, do you think he's cheating? And she was like, no, Alicia. Men don't cheat on me, they cheat with me. And we got a flashback sequence of Tom and Brooke, right? And Brooke was like, is your girlfriend here today? And Tom was like, no. You know? You're probably not getting what I'm getting at. I wrote in my notes, like, I'm pretty sure my theater babies understand what I'm talking about. Y'all are probably just as lost as everyone else. So anyways, after lying to myself, apparently in my notes, saying that people understand what I'm getting at, when y'all probably don't. Y'all are probably like, what is this lady talking about? Why am I still watching this video? Because you left me. But whatever, that's irrelevant. I'll explain it at the end what I was trying to get at. But let's get back to Tom's story. So Tom gets dumped by Brooke because, again, remember that her and Sage were apparently on a break. Well, her and Sage got back together and she didn't, like, want to cheat on Sage or something. So he gets dumped by her. And he realizes that Brooke isn't that great of a person. And he says, like, yeah, you're pretty, you have a pretty face, but, like, you have an ugly heart, which is the title of, like, the next episode, the last one for the season. Yeah, writing, Sophie knows how to write things. So a year later, Savvy shows up, and Tom starts noticing her, and he's like, ooh. So Brooke gets involved once more because seeing your enemies happy is a no-no. Alright, and then we flash back, remember, to episode 10, where what I told you to remember something in one episode somewhere in between that. We flash back to her and Tom talking, you know, about the deal. Right? he said no, that he wasn't going to do anything with her. And she's like, well, I have this video from last year of us making out in my room, right? And it's currently unlisted on YouTube. Well, on do you get me? And if you don't understand what unlisted means, so basically there's like 3 different things that you can do to a video when you upload it on YouTube, which is make it private, which that means only you can view it. And if you make it private, you can like schedule it for a certain time for it to like upload or to premiere. Right? So you have that, which is what I usually do. All my videos are usually private, and then I just schedule them to upload at a certain time. That's what most YouTubers do, right? Then you have a public video, which means that everyone can see it, but you also have unlisted, which is kind of both of them combined, right? Because it's private, so you can see it, but if you send a link to someone, they can view it as well, right? You get me? So she had uploaded this video onto YouTube, and from last year, and she was going to use it to destroy Megan and Tom's relationship and be like, hi, he's cheating on you, right? Watch the video, he's cheating on you. But then she had the brilliant idea to, I guess, re-upload it, right? Take down the original one and re-upload it again. Because I'm pretty sure, like, the timestamp would still be the same if she didn't take it down from last year and then re-upload it, or if she never uploaded it the year before and then just uploaded it recently, right? Because if she had just uploaded it last year and like never took it down and then re-uploaded it, it would just still have the date from before, so it really wouldn't matter at the end of the day. But whatever. What was I getting at? So she basically uses this as blackmail against Tom. And he's like, fine, I'll agree to your deal. But he didn't know what he was supposed to do. He was like, okay, you know what, fine. Because he didn't want Savvy to think that he was cheating on her. So he shows up at the party, they go upstairs, and since he didn't know anything, he didn't technically cheat. Right? She just started making out with him and he was like, ma'am? And basically Tom talks about what happened after they made out, after what Savvy saw, which is this.
Earlier, Brooke brought me upstairs, and I thought I was going to get it over with and help her with whatever she wanted. But instead, she started making out with me.
You wanted me to.
No, I didn't, Brooke. I don't like you at all. I kept trying to talk to you, but you kept forcing yourself on me.
Yeah, right. You told me you'd been waiting.
Waiting to kiss you? Gross. More like waiting to talk to you. You wouldn't even let me finish my sentences.
Ugh, I saw you, Tom. You didn't even seem to mind.
Savannah, I told you. I was trying to save our relationship. Listen to me. Here's what really happened after what you saw upstairs.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Was that? Shh. We're not done. Brooke!
Aren't I a much better kisser than Savannah?
Brooke! That's it. Stop. I can't do this anymore. This is so wrong. This is sick. I feel sick. I don't like you, okay? I like Savannah. I don't want to kiss you.
Oh, Tom, that's no problem. She definitely heard me yelling.
What?
Okay, well, what else, Tommy? Thanks for helping. You can go now. Oh, is my lipstick smudged?
Wait. That was Savannah, wasn't it? You did this on purpose.
Whoops. Maybe. But you have to admit, I gave the best kisses ever.
Don't let you!
It's okay to admit it. It'll be our little secret.
Oh! You're insane!
that's the end of part 1. So let's talk about part 2, which has a small little paragraph. So part 2, season finale. This is the last episode for season 1. So Brooke's world is basically just collapsing right in front of her. And then our queen, Rachel, shows up. And she tells Sage that Brooke had been hooking up with Nathan. They were not on break, but Brooke was hooking up with Nathan so that he could do her math homework for her. Which, I mean, I don't know when photomath was created or anything like that.
Editing Jess here with my messy hair yet again. But I'm not laying in bed and you can see my toilet, so I think there's some improvement. Maybe not to my spine, but to the setup. Yes, I have a Christmas tree right here. But anyways, this is irrelevant. So I was looking it up for this little ramble right here about like when photomath was created, because, you know, everyone and their mothers uses photomath who actually does algebra or math. If it's not basic math, like, it's basically irrelevant. But anyways, so I was looking it up, and photomath was created in 2014. This episode aired in 2012. So I completely understand that she was not able to use photomath to do her math homework. But Mathway was created in 2002. So she could have used Mathway, although photomath is much better. So I understand that she couldn't use photomath, but Mathway still existed. So in the end, you didn't have to cheat on your boyfriend for the math answers. But I did exist in 2011. And I don't think photomath would have worked in those times, right? Listen, this is coming from someone who barely knows how to do math either, right? I don't think photomath would have worked in those times. Because 2011, we like barely had iPhones. I could be wrong, but I don't think we had iPhones or like, you know, those like nicer phones like we do now that work better with photomath. Yeah, phones from back then could like take pictures, but I don't think it would have been a good enough picture for photomath to tell you what the hell was going on. So I completely understand. Do I agree? Absolutely not. But I understand, right? Sage is now enraged and he slut shames her again because men. I get it because, like, you know, don't cheat, but also don't slut shame. Thank you. And Rachel, again, our queen, the woman that we love the most, tells Savvy that about Rachel's plan and about the stuff in the closet, right? Apparently Brooke's plan was to make Savvy bald, but it could also end up making her blind. And they were gonna do this accidentally. I don't know how, but they were going to do it accidentally. So Brooke starts crying and pleading with Sage to like take her back, that he's not thinking clearly, asks him to kiss her, kisses him, which, I mean, Brooke, you're catching a lot of charges today. She didn't catch any, but you know what I mean. She should have though, but she didn't. He and Savvy leave, meanwhile she's trying to plead with him again, and everyone else leaves, which just leaves Brooke alone upstairs. They all just go back to the party, and in a dimly lit room, right, because they only have like the strobe lights, Sage sees how bad Savvy's wounds really are. But meanwhile, Brooke is like coming downstairs to the party. The DJ's like, this song is for Brooke and Sage for their 3-year anniversary. That aged like milk. Truly. So instead of, you know, taking
Savvy to ER immediately before she like dies of blood loss or something. He's like, may I have this dance?
Patrick, what are you doing here?
I thought the core would help me straighten out my life, sir.
The core? What the... Pat, this isn't the... Oh. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Can you take hats in a dignified and sophisticated manner?
You mean like a weenie? Okay. May I take your hat, sir? May I take your hat, sir? May I...
All right, I've heard enough. You've got the job.
I'm telling you, Sage is not one of the men we should be rooting for in this series. It gets even worse. But whatever. So Brooke sees Savvy and Sage slow dancing to their song, you know. Is this slow dance? I don't know. But she gets upset and she screams at everyone to leave. And the episode ends with Brooke collapsing on the floor, crying. Conclusion time. I was going to talk about something in the conclusion, but then I forgot. And I don't have it written down. So I'm so sorry. Remind me what it was in the comments and I'll respond and tell you my thoughts. I think it was about the costumes, but I'm not sure. So I want to keep this brief because you've been with me here for a pretty long time, right? Honestly, again, no one expected for this series, not even Sophie expected for this series to pop off, because she was just doing this for like her little brother's enjoyment and entertainment, right? No one expected for this series to pop off, but it did, and that's amazing. So, and I think you can gather why this series popped off the way that it did. And honestly, the characters are just so well written because, oh God, again, to talk about Brooke, I've been saying it throughout this whole video, you get a more empathetic look at Brooke's life in a season 2, and it's just written so well. Because again, you start feeling that empathy from starting this series, right? To the end of it. You know, you feel bad that she's like in a room alone. Whether you think it's like her karma, you start to feel bad. You're like, damn, bro, she's just there alone crying. And, you know, she has her like ED and whatever. And you feel bad for her. And then in season 2, you start to understand more why she did the things that she did, right? Just a little small snippet, like Sophie's ability to direct things is amazing. I'm not going to talk about her directing any further, but like the camera work, or editing, but I want to talk about the writing. And I think this is a point that Caitlin made in her video. But the writing for LPS Popular is amazing, right? Again, I studied theater for like 4 years. Did I peak in high school? Maybe, I don't know. But the writing for the series, again, is incredible. And in theater, you learn about, planting a seed, right? So in certain episodes, we saw certain things, right? Like in the episode where we saw the flashback of Tom and Brooke making out, that was going to come up later, right? Like we didn't have the context for it, really. So we were like, oh, okay. But then later on in episode 16, you get the context for that. You get the context for that clip and you're like, oh, right? When characters are introduced, there is a purpose to them. Like for example, Megan was introduced in episode 14, and then we get the context for her character in episode 16, right? You also get like a little bit of background, you know, on Megan's character, and like her dynamic with Brooke, which is a very similar dynamic to Savvy and Brooke, right? But you get the context for it later, right? Excuse me. So what Sophie does is like she leaves like little seedling right there, and again with like the hallway deal between Brooke and Sage, you get that little seed there, and then it comes up in a later episode, and it just makes it more enjoyable because it just makes each scene that you see more important, right? Because you're like, oh, will this have like a deeper meaning later on? Like it enthralls you more into the series because you're like, wait, why did she show us that scene? And then she has the meaning for why that scene was. And again, with the writing, the way that in episode 14, which was the episode that broke Savannah down because she saw her boyfriend cheating on her, it ends with her crying. Later on, 3 episodes later, we have that scene of Brooke crying because that's the episode that broke her.
I would just like to add that it's kind of like they're their own downfall in a way, because the reason that Savvy broke down in episode 14 was because of Brooke kissing her man, right? And the reason that Brooke broke down in episode 17 was because Savvy was with her man, so they're like their own detriment to themselves, again like the angel and the devil are. It's great writing. It's mwah.
With everything coming out, that's the episode that broke her, so she's crying now, and it just, again, everything in the series has meaning. That broken relationship between Tom and Savannah has meaning, right? Brooke breaking down at the party has meaning. And it just, Sophie's just amazing with like scripting and directing, and I love to see it. And you're gonna see it play out even more when we talk about season 2 next time. But I think for now we've talked about it enough. I think season 2 has like less episodes than this one, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But season 2 is amazing. Season 2 hands down is amazing. It's crazy. You're gonna be like, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. But yeah, to end this now, remember to please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I post that and whenever I post other videos. Remember, I'm here for you every single Friday, as much as I can be, because I have a life that I lead sometimes. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
Lisa.